This is part 25 of my series on my N-gauge model railway project. Previous parts covered the project from its inception, through the creation of the baseboard, selection and laying of track, building of scenic items, obtaining rolling stock, etc. The project is ongoing. Recent parts have also featured actual video of running on the layout, and more in this part. This part is just a look at a couple of additional locomotives that finally arrived from the UK. Both these new locos are older Graham Farish models, which I believe are no longer made, an A3 Flying Scotsman in LNER apple green, and a Stanier Black 5 in LMS black livery. These are both nice-looking locos, though not as detailed as would be expected for new releases now. Sadly, neither of them is a great runner and puller. Of course, traction with any sort of substantial train on a gradient does tend to be a recurring problem in N-gauge, but still some locos certainly do better than others, and neither of these does terribly well. The Black 5 performs a bit better than the Flying Scotsman. The Black 5 really runs okay, except that it does get wheel slip trying to pull much up a gradient. The Scotsman has worse problems. It doesn't pull well, and its chassis is also very low between the tracks, giving it extremely little clearance, meaning that it has major problems with points, crossovers, etc. The Scotsman is the only loco I have that I can't use with my Cato turntable because of clearance issues. Anyhow, let's have a bit more of a look at the locos, and then we'll see some running video of them. This is how the Flying Scotsman came in its box. It's recent enough to have a 5-pole motor. Here's the lid off the box for a closer look. I have no complaints really about the look or condition of this loco, I just wish it actually ran better. Of course, it's a bit basic by current standards, with rails, whistles and valves just moulded on and not even picked out with paint. They did at least paint over the ends of the driving wheel axles very neatly too. Here it is on the rails, ready for its initial run. It's a nice-looking loco, especially from a bit of a distance. And here it is hooked up to my rake of Dapol Gresley teak coaches. As you'll know if you watch much of my railway stuff, my main focus is decidedly on the LMS, which was the railway my family worked for, and the Midland Railway before that. The LNER were the other guys, the competition, and I give them a bit of a place on my layout, but I don't make any attempt to model LNER operations at all extensively. Here's the Flying Scotsman rounding the corner with its 5-coach express. Sadly, it really struggles to get round even the relatively flat outer line with this many coaches, and I eventually gave up and cut the train back to 4 coaches. And these are brand new Dapol coaches, nothing wrong with their bogies or anything, but the drag as they go round a corner is really more than the Scotsman can cope with, and those are Cato's 348 radius curves, the outer loop radius, and the largest radius normally used for full turns, so it's not as if they're extra tight turns, although, of course, they're pretty darn tight by real-world standards. Here's the Flying Scotsman pulling its express through Colville, past an LMS Jubilee with the G2 in the siding with a freight train. And back round again past the yard and down to Scraptoft. And now here's the Black 5 bringing 4 LMS suburban non-corridor coaches round the same corner. Virtually the same shot, but with flash. I dither constantly as to the virtues of flash and non-flash pictures. Flash picks out the details nicely, but somewhat artificially, and it creates harsh shadows and highlights. Here's a flash close-up showing the detail of the Black 5. It does have some nice red lining, but again the rails and valves etc. are just roughly moulded on, and the driving wheels are not quite as nicely done as those on the Scotsman. The particular loco modelled here, number 5305, was built by Armstrong Whitworth of Newcastle-on-Tyne in 1936, and I'm happy to say that it is preserved. I believe it currently resides close to my old home territory on the Great Central Heritage Railway in Leicestershire. Here's a longer shot of it pulling its suburban train up to the viaduct past the yard. And here's another close-up. It's a pity the capacitor is visible in the cab. And round the hill, down the other side of the viaduct. with Colville Station behind. And now for some running video of these two locomotives. Now I'm going to see if I can get the Flying Scotsman to run on the outer line. So we have to set the points to give power to his line. Now, he's a pretty engine, but he's not really a great runner. So I don't even know whether he's going to succeed in pulling these coaches here. Got to connect up the sound card there because we're running through the sound card in there. Not so far, famous, that's what I was going to say, so far so good, but now he's getting, see, he's getting wheel slip trying to, he's getting wheel slip, he can't pull the coaches round the corner, that's the problem. He can't pull the coaches round the corner. Well, it's a double corner. They were going one way and the other, and it was creating too much drag on their bogies, and he couldn't pull them. He is not a great runner, as I say. See, he's getting wheel slip again as he tries to pull the coaches round the corner. He's frankly struggling. Oh, blimey. Now he's just stopped completely. Now what's the matter with him? I don't know. Okay, I had to go over there and help him, and even now he's wheel spinning hopelessly. See, he's just... No. I don't know. He just really cannot move, can he? Nope. He's just stuck solid again, isn't he? He's a bit of a useless engine, really. He's a bit of a useless engine, this Flying Scotsman, I'm afraid. Let's see if he does any better. I've lightened his load now. I've taken him down from 5 coaches to 4 coaches. These are the Daypol Gresley teak coaches. I could get the Empire of India, which is the other LNER express engine I have, oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, at least we got him round, but he, as you can see, he's not a good runner. He gets stuck on every corner and whatever. He can't, and these are not bad running coaches. These are brand new Daypol coaches. They're not, you know, it's not like they're coaches with bad bogies and things. He's just not a very good running engine. He has no traction tyres, which is all very well and good, but you know, he doesn't have a lot of traction. He doesn't have great weight. He's just not much of a puller. Unfortunately, let's give him some power there, because he tends to get stuck at that corner. And he's got about like 2/3 power here. Sadly, clearly not a good runner. A pretty engine. This is the Graham Farish LNER apple green Flying Scotsman. Give him... Okay, now let's try and break him into the station. Now I do like that brake squeal sound from the US Light steam car. Well, there you go, such as he is. So I guess the lesson there is he's just not going to run 5 coaches. 4 is the most he can manage, and even then he's struggling a bit. So let's just see if we can get a little bit of a look at the Flying Scotsman, albeit that he's not a great runner. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a look at him coming round the corner here. Now, I don't want to come round too fast, but I don't want him to get stuck either. It seems like 4 of those Gresley coaches is about as much as he can do. Let's see if we can just try and do one more slow pass of him coming round here. Not surprisingly, he's got stuck. God, he does get stuck all the time. He just gets stuck all the time, let's face it. No, he's not going to go backwards either. Oh, now he's just not going to go anywhere at all. Really, seriously. Look about a poor runner. Oh, come on. Yeah, well, he really does not like pulling anything, does he? Bit sad, really. The Flying Scotsman doesn't like pulling anything. What can you do? I'm just going to back him up once more so you can at least look at him in the camera. There you go. The Graham Farish Flying Scotsman. I don't know what other people's are like, but this one I bought is not a great runner. Not really. It struggles to pull anything much. It looks kind of pretty, but it also does not have a lot of clearance off the track. It ran round there okay because that's a fairly it doesn't have a lot of problem. I don't think I can even get it to go onto the turntable because underneath the plastic underneath the wheels hangs down very near to the track, so it's got very little clearance off the track in the middle. So it has troubles going over anything that makes a little bit of a bump in the track or whatever, which is another of its troubles. So yes, it runs up to a point, but unfortunately not as nice as you would like. Now I'm going to see if I can get the Black 5 out of its engine shed and get it to pick up some non-corridor LMS stock and take it round. This may be a little optimistic since there are a number of possible problems here. First we'll turn the turntable to point to the shed where he is, and we want him to go away from the little house, so that should be the correct direction. No, it's not the correct direction. I have great trouble figuring that whole direction thing out. I thought that should be the correct direction, but anyway. Now we'll move him onto the track that takes him out to the main, and now we definitely want him to go in the anti-clockwise direction. I have my controllers set up so forward is clockwise and reverse is anti-clockwise, except for the red Ginty, which for someone assembled backwards from a kit, so it always goes the opposite way. Stuck getting off the turntable there. Check whether his tender is railed correctly. He looks a little bit dubious, doesn't he? I think his tender is railed correctly. It doesn't hurt that he went across a re-railer track there. Okay, now we're going to try and put him onto the outside track via the crossover. I told you this was going to be a bit complicated, and you know, there are various things that can go wrong there, and then the other thing that can go wrong is I'm not too sure whether those carriages are going to work. They're kit-built carriages I bought on eBay, and they can be a bit temperamental. Yes. Well, because his chuff changes completely and unreasonably as I take him from one area to the other, because I've got a US light steam sound card on the outer area and a Japanese C12 C56 card on the outer area. So now this is back to US light steam, which is what I was using before. Now I do have two US light steam cards, so I could put light steam on both, which would keep the sound the same. Okay, let's just stop for a moment and think what we're trying to do with the points here. We're trying to go and pick up those wagons. Nope. That should be correct for picking up those wagons. Not that I'm saying we can do it, but that should be correct to take the engine round to the wagons. Yeah, I would say the odds that we're going to be able to couple to these and bring them out are not great. We might have got them. Ah! Well, close but no cigar. We got them part way, didn't we? See, these are kit-built cars and they're pretty blithering strange, so they don't run. They look nice, but they don't run super well. Trying to get them to run is a bit of a problem. Nice looking things, but not great runners. Okay. Well, they're all railed correctly there at the moment, I think. Let's see if we can just, well, set all the points just for a clean circuit round the outside, and we'll see if we can get them to go cleanly round the outside with the Black 5 pulling them here. Black 5 is a middling puller. He's not a great puller either. He's not going to pull a great long train. Not this one. I'm not talking about real Black 5. Real Black 5s are of course excellent pullers, but this is not a real Black 5. We'll stop in the station there. Yeah, I mean, he's a better puller than this, as a model I'm talking, not real trains. This Black 5 model is a better puller than the Flying Scotsman I got. But he's not, again, not terrific because he does tend to get wheel slip and things. Okay, let's release the brakes and try and just go on, travel on. Kind of a bunch of points here. And we're going straight through them, basically. Well, no, that one we're not coming around the curve on it, really. So he's actually getting some wheel slip even now. He's not running entirely without wheel slip. These are fairly heavy carriages and not the best runners. I have no idea who built them. Not me. They're built, there's a lot of metal in them, and they have these massive screws holding the bogies on, which are a bit of a problem because you can't tighten them all the way up else the bogie won't move, but then they tend to work loose and foul things, so you have to keep checking those screws. Let's see if we can move him back across the crossover onto the inner layer, the inner section. Because if we do that, then we'll see if he can manage to pull these coaches up the incline, which I'm none too sure he will be able to do. And we got that weird switch from one set of sound to another there, because we crossed over now to the... Let's turn that sound off entirely. We crossed over to the Japanese C12C56 sound card now. Oh, he can hardly get them up that incline, so I don't think he's going to be able to get them up the other incline. Need the sander, don't we? Yeah, I'm not too surprised that we're struggling to get those up the incline. The best pullers I have are the Union Mills engines. They're really solidly built out of metal, and I don't know, they don't have traction tires, but they're just really, really, really good solid pullers. The Union Mill, I have a couple of Union Mills engines, the G2 Super D and the X Midlands 3F, and you know, even the little 3F, which is not a terribly big engine, is actually a terrific puller. Just checking the points there. We don't want to go back into the yard. Let's give him a bit of a running start here. He's doing much good though, does it really? No, he's really he really can't do it, can he? No. No, maybe not at all. I think we're going to have to help him there. No. Yeah, he can't really, so, you know, what can I say? He can't really do that. But still. I've lightened the Black 5's load a little bit here in the hope he can do a better job of pulling up the incline. Yes, yes, with just those three he can manage quite well. There we go. Let's move him backwards where you can see him. Famous last words, I guess he's going. I don't know whether this will work or not. No, I guess not. I wanted to zoom in on him a little bit there, but I guess this camera won't let you zoom while it's recording, so you have to stop and start it again for it to zoom. So there you go, anyway. Famous last words. What's it? Oh, there he goes. Yes, off he goes. Off he goes, the Black 5. Also not currently made, I don't think. And we'll see if we can get one more run by of the Black 5 there. Oh yes, this thing, I always forget this thing has these weird brakes that I don't care for. Let's bring him back for you. There we go. There you go. The Black 5. This is this is a Graham Farish, but not one they sell, I don't think, at the moment.